more voice like this?
Yeah, it's going to be like a conversation.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that. Good afternoon. Welcome to Restart Your Business, Recharge Your Life. We're here today with Lorenzo Primiterra. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, more like what is a Bitcoin and the world of Bitcoins, right? So, Lorenzo, what is a Bitcoin? Let's start with a big question that everybody wants to know.
Okay, it's not the easiest question, but let's say that Bitcoin is a money, but a new form of money. It's not difficult to understand because we're already used to have money in a digital form, like in the bank account, they're just numbers. So Bitcoin is more or less, I would consider like that. And also Bitcoin is created from nothing, like the actual currency. So because the actual currency is not backed by gold anymore, it's created from nothing. Why Bitcoin has value? This is an entire other topic. But we can say that Bitcoin has value for the same reason why money has value, because we give it value. Like money, like the euro or the dollar, has value because we as people, we accept euro. The government created the euro. We say that 10 euro is worth 10 euro. So as long as I go and buy the bread with 10 euros, that 10 euros has value. Bitcoin, when it was created, that value, there was a few cents, now has more value because we gave it more value. Why it's growing in value could be also another big conversation.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question here. Why do you think, because of course you're not the creator of Bitcoin, but why do you think was the need for those people to create like Bitcoin? If we have already like dollars, euros.
This is also an interesting question because nobody has the real answer. There's a lot of speculation, and I guess Bitcoin was created in the perfect moment. There was after 2008. 2008 there was the big crisis of the banks, so people were losing faith in the actual financial system. And furthermore, internet was already a good technology, was advanced. So people were looking for something, was a store of value probably, that was decentralized, nobody could control, because Bitcoin could not be controlled by anybody. And that was the perfect moment, the perfect storm. And during a storm, people came up with nice ideas to revolutionize something that was old and was not updated. Like the financial system hasn't been updated for so many years.
Okay. And do you think like Bitcoin, in your opinion, can be an investment? And I think a lot of, well, we were talking about this before. When I heard the first times about Bitcoin, I was like, a lot of people were talking like, oh my God, if I buy this now, maybe in the future I will be rich. So you can become rich if you have, or I don't know how to put the good adjectives, have or buy, or I don't know, the Bitcoins.
Okay, this is the first reason why everybody buys Bitcoin at the beginning. They hear it when it's growing in price. They buy it because they want to become rich, or because they heard the stories of people who become millionaires overnight because they bought it years ago. And this is the main narrative why people got in. My suggestion is firstly to understand why this technology is working, why it's a revolution, before buying it. Because if you buy it just because the price is growing, when the price will fall, then you will be scared and you will sell. If you buy because you understand the technology, maybe you won't sell for the next 20 years because you believe that on the long run it will grow. Will grow because it's scarce, and more people want something that is scarce, like gold. More this thing keep its value. And basically it's about reading, understanding before buying something that you don't know what it is but it's growing in value. Like in March 2020 the price of Bitcoin crashed to 3,000-4,000 because nobody was thinking about buying that, and that was a year ago. Now it's growing because now everybody talks about Bitcoin in the television
again, right?
Same thing happened in 2017 when it went to 20,000, from like 3,000 to 20. It was in television all the time. Everybody wanted to buy Bitcoin. Then they kind of forgot and the price crashed to 8,000. And then seems like people didn't want Bitcoin. No, maybe the people who bought it to make money, they sold it.
Okay.
Because it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's more about understanding the technology, and mainly is to preserve the value of your money. Okay, now it's growing because it's something new. But over the years, and I'm thinking of even 30, 40 years, it can become a new gold that holds the value. Gold doesn't make you rich, but will keep your net worth like against inflation.
Okay, and I'm going to have another question here. I don't understand anything about Bitcoin, so when you have a Bitcoin, what is this? Like, you can buy things, you can go to an online store and buy things, it converts to euros.
Okay. Let's say that Bitcoins, compared to your normal bank, they are like number on the screen. With the difference that Bitcoins live on the internet, but nobody can modify the blockchain. So everybody has a copy of all the Bitcoin wallets. So I know that you have one in your wallet, and if you send one to another person, you have 0. That's public and everybody can access it. So nobody can modify it. This is also a risk, because if you send it to the wrong person, nobody can give it back to you. Or if you lose your wallet, it's lost forever. But this is also security, because nobody can block you to make a transaction.
So it can be transformed in, I don't know if Bitcoins in real money, it can be transformed in what I know, me not knowing about Bitcoins in real money?
It can be transformed in 2 ways, I would say, because it can be spent as euro with using credit card. They basically sell your Bitcoin or other cryptos in real time and send the euro to the seller. Or can be spent as Bitcoin. There are some shops.
There are some shops that, this I saw. Right?
Now you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, and Elon Musk said that he's not going to sell his Bitcoin. He wants to keep them as an investment. But he could have accepted Bitcoin and every month sell them if he needed some liquidity.
And when did you? I don't recall the first time that I heard about Bitcoins. I think it was like a long time ago. I don't think it was 2008 that early. For me, it was after. When Bitcoin was a thing, I heard about it. When did you first hear about Bitcoins?
Well, I first heard about Bitcoin was long ago. It was 2011. But it was mainly a game for nerds, I would call it. So people who like to build products and play with technology and say, oh, there's this new thing. You could mine them at the time on your computer, maybe one per day, and then send it to your friend and say, look, it arrived. Oh, so cool. But they were worth less than $1 or maybe around that value. So it was something cool for nerd, but nobody would expect to become such a big thing. And then as something that is not worth a lot, you kind of not give it much value.
Attention as well.
Yeah. For this, you hear a lot of stories of people who lost thousands of Bitcoin in the early days, because if there was worth €100, you don't go to recover your passport for €100, for example. Or there was the guy who paid 2 pizzas 10,000 Bitcoin. That was worth $30 at the time in 2010.
And now,
10,000 Bitcoin. Nobody was thinking about that at the moment. It was just something funny to play around. And then with the time, more people developed the technology grew, the price grew. Then blockchain became like a technology where people would build things on top or other currency. So Bitcoin being the first became the store of value. And I remember that during the year like 2013, 14, 15, I was just hearing some news but not really getting involved, because
maybe also people were not understanding much.
Yeah, I was the first one not to understand why it was a revolution. I was like, okay, maybe you can pay, but I wasn't really getting the full picture that money you can print, while Bitcoin are 21 million, you cannot print anymore.
Yeah, it's like me right now. You were like me back in 2000.
Exactly. It's like gold, I would say, that, yeah, you can mine gold, but probably we already mined almost all of gold. This is why gold has a value now in this world. Because it's scarce. And it was the same thing. Then in 2017 was really interesting, because there was all these new coins. Some wanted to be the money, some wanted to be a technology to do database, and there was this big boom of an industry. Then 2018, when the first bubble burst, only the really good technology was solving a problem stayed up until now. A lot of these coins created in 2017, now they're worth nothing because they weren't really solving a problem, I would say. Bitcoin was the first, so the one with more obsolete, I would call it, technology. So probably we're not going to use Bitcoin to pay everyday life. Probably we're going to use more other cryptos, faster and cheaper. But Bitcoin, it may become gold, where you store your value. Like you buy gold just to be safe for inflation or something like that. I'm talking probably in a remote future. But the technology that Bitcoin is based off is blockchain. That could be the real game changer for a lot of new technology, like the internet was a technology that was developed by the US military to send communication before the fax machine, but to make it faster. Nobody would have believed that we would video call people in HD quality and Zoom call. It was just for sending text.
Exactly. And you were like, it really got your attention the first time that you read like about Bitcoins. Like, for you, that interesting? Like, I don't know. Like,
it was interesting to see there was a different kind of money. There wasn't PayPal. There was possible to send it across the globe for cheap, and it was immutable. Like if I send it, the transaction is there. So it was interesting because it was not the traditional bank system, but I thought if everything is moving to the internet, this could be interesting.
And you were, you start like buying already Bitcoins?
No, not back then. Back then were a game. So it was also difficult to buy. Up to 2013 was difficult to buy Bitcoin because there were not actual marketplace. Like nowadays, you go on some website like Binance, credit card, load, buy, and then you can put them in your wallet. Now it's much easier. Before there was no technology. For this I'm comparing to the internet because internet evolved. The email that you were using, I don't know if you, but with Windows 95, 98 were not the Gmail of today. So
yeah, and also you have a book.
I'm finishing it right now.
Yeah, and why you decided to start?
I decided to write a book, firstly because it's a challenge and I love challenges, and also because I was thinking in my mind a person like could be like my mother to explain like Bitcoin in an easy way.
Exactly, that would be super.
Especially to a person who's not really into technology, or to a person who's from an older generation.
Exactly. They were not born with.
They were not born with the digital age, and also a person that were understanding credit card could be difficult because they're used to touch money, and now it's on a screen.
Yeah.
So explain Bitcoin it's
a little
hard
bit
to
harder.
explain credit cards. Yes.
So basically, you're writing your book, like
having my mother in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Like super simple, and you're talking about. What do you talk about? Well, don't tell me everything, of course, but...
The most important chapter, in my opinion, is the beginning when I go through the history of economics from the Roman Empire to today. Because if you understand that, then you can understand Bitcoin. You need to understand how the economics really evolved. The gold coins, first notes, and now in every step of the process that sometimes it lasts hundreds of years, there were people not understanding what was this new form of money. Once you go through all the process, and then you'll understand Bitcoin as well. And then I explain the technology, I explain why it could work, why it couldn't, and without going deep into technology, because as I say in the book, you don't know how a car works, the engine works, but you drive the car. So you don't need to understand how the blockchain exactly works, probably.
Yeah, and you're really into Bitcoins right now, like it's something of your daily thing that you do, like, I don't know, in your work, or for example, you work with Bitcoins, you actually, like, you are in the world of Bitcoins, or something like this to say?
I would say yes. I invested some part of my company liquidity into crypto.
Okay.
As an investment long term. I'm also really into the technologies and studying how they evolve these technologies.
Okay.
The new programming languages, because it's going so fast and it's really difficult to see all the news. But I would like to really follow up because I see a trend.
Mm-hmm.
I see a trend that can really bring to a revolution. And you may just hear on the news what's going on, but behind the surface there's just too much going on. And I really want to be on top of it with new ideas and also just talking about it to help people understand.
And like people who created bitcoins, like I don't understand, like they have like a company that it's this. It's just like a random like this question.
Is
might
your
be
question
a little
about how to create Bitcoin?
No, not how to create Bitcoin, but I'm asking if Bitcoin is a company.
No, Bitcoin is not a company. Bitcoin is a software was
Okay.
created by a developer.
Okay.
And you know the concept of open source software?
Mhm.
It's a software that everybody can contribute. The original developer of Bitcoin, the funny part is nobody knows who the guy is. If it's a real guy, if it's a group of guys with a pseudonym, they were developing this, nobody knows. After 12 years, nobody knows. There were some speculation of people saying, because this guy, after 3 years, he completely disappeared. He stopped writing code, he stopped writing posts on the forum. So some theories would say there's another guy who died. He never revealed his identity, but this is just speculation. Just because this guy was the first guy to receive the first Bitcoin transaction,
Okay.
could be anybody, or could be even a group of people who decide to write this software and never reveal the identity. It's a good mystery. It probably will be a mystery forever because the technology was developed, given to the world, and then the world is improving it.
And also like making this kind of technology, I don't know, maybe for a person rather not to
Yeah.
like be known because this technology is brutal.
But yeah, it's the open source community that just take a piece, improved it, took a piece, improved it.
You entered there?
I wasn't that good of a developer back then, but I remember the first software were like really rough and difficult to use.
And you were not like, but you contributed.
No, I didn't contribute. I was still a college student back then.
And also, which possibilities do you see in the future? We were talking about like bitcoins, and like they can be like a real revolution, but like realistic future for bitcoins. What do you see?
For Bitcoin, I see, as I say, it would be the store of value, like the digital gold, because gold holds its value over time. It's the only currency that held this value for thousands of years, but gold is difficult to send. If I need to send you $1 million in gold, it's gonna be difficult. In Bitcoin, it's easy.
Okay.
But there are numerous other coins called altcoins that can serve as a different purpose. And the real revolution I'm seeing in the last years, it's what is called decentralized finance. This is basically, in an easy way, putting all the services the bank are performing with humans, but instead of having humans, they are like managed by computer software. So imagine taking a loan.
Okay.
I can put, hypothetically, $1 million in Bitcoin and take a loan in euro, half of the value in euro. And this is made by software that's keeping my Bitcoin, for example, and give me the
Real
other
money.
coin. Yeah, and these Bitcoin are locked until I pay my loan back. In a more distant future, I can create a coin, a token that represents the ownership of my house. For example, I can put this coin in a software, and this software give me a loan. So this software is keeping the property of my house. So all these documents that we have that say the house is mine, they're gonna go on the internet probably. So you don't need the middleman. You don't need, for example, a bank. I can just go to a software and ask for a loan. This is in a distant future. I don't see this happening in the next 5 years probably, but this is the direction we're going. Direction where everything is digital, everything is online, and this is why now I see that people get shocked when they see this coin that called NFT. They are digital art.
Okay, I don't know what are they.
Sold for millions, like art that is digital.
Okay.
Kind of Da Vinci, but in a digital way. Because in the future, probably the art is going to be more digital.
Really?
It could be, nobody knows, but also the ownership of a piece of art could be digital.
Okay. That looks super futuristic. Everything.
Yeah, but
I don't know if I like it.
depends. I like to think about a world where we can skip the middleman, maybe the banks, and everybody can be his own bank. Because as we think that everybody can have a bank account, actually this is not true. Like in the world, there are a lot of unbanked people. People who have no access to the bank services, especially I would say in less developed country, but also in Europe. Like there's a research that 10-15% don't have access to the bank system due to documentation, or they just are not ideal clients for the bank who don't want them.
Okay.
So they will be cut off from the financial system. It's going to be difficult to send them digital payments. With Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency, you can just create a wallet on your phone and you are your own bank. So you skip this, and plus you give the possibility to like third world countries to receive money, to contribute to an economy. Because the smartphone, the percentage of people having a smartphone in the world is higher than the percentage of people having a bank account. So the technology is already there.
Okay, that looks super weird. Like to know all of this information and seeing like everything is super futuristic. It's a little bit scary, but well, we will get there.
Yeah, slowly. Like now we are in a euphoric moment. Probably it's gonna calm down, and then again there will be a euphoria with new technologies. But I guess the future is digital.
Yeah, and I have a question about the book. About the book, and yeah, it's related to the book. There's a lot of people that already wrote a book about like what differentiates your book from maybe others, because for sure there's more books talking about bitcoins.
Well, I'm writing for an Italian audience.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to make it so simple. I'm not thinking about writing for selling it. I'm really writing for just to publish something out there and see if people would like more content like this.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm writing on Medium to see which kind of content people would like to read. I understand that a lot of people would like to read, or even on YouTube they want to watch this video. They say, "Oh, get rich, buy this and you will get
exactly.
rich."
Those are like so dangerous.
I want to make more videos about the technology, about how the technology is helping the world and how the world is changing. So I don't care about making videos of article about, oh, get rich, buy this and get rich. It's more about the technology.
And you have like a great Bitcoin, like I don't know how to say it. Like I don't even know how to call bitcoins. Like you have a really good package of bitcoins. Like you.
As an investment.
Yeah, as an investment.
I invested some of my personal fund and some of my personal company fund as well, but these are for the long term, so I'm not concerned about the price. If it double tomorrow, half, I can maybe.
And you were not afraid, because, for example, this is something that I think sometimes when I see those videos about bitcoins, I was like, okay, maybe I should start, or like I thought about it, like maybe. But then I'm like, I don't know, because of course there's a lot of people explaining, but sometimes with these new things, you don't know if there can be a scam, or they can explain, or they can tell you some information that you think like it's going to be beneficial for you, but after all, it's not going to be. So you were not afraid, like personally, to start doing this?
There are a lot of coins who are scam, and in 2017, a lot of them. This is why study what you're buying. Bitcoin is the easiest, then the second one is Ethereum. But if you go into other coins, you really need to study the project, who was founded from, and it's more complicated. So I guess just understanding maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's already enough for a person who doesn't really understand.
Okay.
And about getting afraid to invest, I would say don't invest money that you cannot lose. So people who in 2017 bought Bitcoin at 20,000, some people got loan to buy this Bitcoin because they were growing from 3,000 to 20,000. and then Bitcoin crashed. I don't remember 8 or 7,000 from 20. These people lost a lot of money. Some of days who got like loans, they had to sell. The people who just invest a little bit, like invest and forget, now they make gains because last Christmas Bitcoin passed 20,000 again.
Okay.
So if you just invest and leave it there, like invest what you can lose, it's a good investment. But this is the best investment strategy, just invest and forget.
And you talk about another coin, like there's more coins. Why Bitcoin is the one that everybody hears about and not
Bitcoin
the
is
other
the
ones?
first, the oldest, and probably the one who's going to be used as gold. The second one at the moment by market capitalization is Ethereum, and it's kind of a programmable coin where you can write these smart contracts. You can write software on Ethereum. And there are even more coins, but nobody knows what's going to be in the future and what's going to be the best. So if you invest in other coins, you probably need to not just invest and forget, but follow the project and see what they are doing.
Okay. And for example, that we have like in our social media, we published like our talk, and the title was like Bitcoin can be the future of money. What's your opinion?
The future of the money, probably not, because as I said, Bitcoin is old and the technology is old.
Okay.
Bitcoin will live together with the money of the future. Bitcoin is going to be the gold of the future, where you store your value and it's going to be there. Or it's going to be used for really big transactions, to buy a house, for example, or to buy a Tesla. There will be money of the future that probably, I believe, is going to be based on blockchain. So it's going to be another cryptocurrency that is fast transfer. And Bitcoin is definitely going to be the store of value.
And do you think euro will disappear, for example?
There could be a digital version of the euro, but depends if people want to have a digital version of the euro that the banks or the government can print, or they prefer something more in the hands of people. But definitely will be more digital.
So now because we're having this conversation, like for us it's so simple. We have like money on the credit card. So also this technology was super advanced. Even I don't know. Like for me, like now talking about Bitcoin, like it's everything online, everything like online. No, sorry, like on the like it doesn't.
On the internet.
On the internet, like it doesn't exist. Credit cards are the same. Like and then you can think about when you buy things online, like
you don't own your money.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it was a big technology thing as well when they start doing this. When this started, like I don't even know, like maybe.
It's a process. It doesn't start from one day to another. It's a process. The first credit cards in the US were published around the late 50s. So it's in the US, the first credit cards, but they were not swipe. They were a number that you have to dial, a phone number. So every technology starts a bit rough and then it evolves. Okay. This is why I say Bitcoin has only 12 years. It's still rough. It's still in the early days. You look at the price, you think it's already big, but it's still really early, yeah.
And you, for example, you work with technology, you are a senior mobile developer.
Yeah.
Which is your main, which technology do you work more with, or what do you do?
I work more in the mobile, so native application.
Okay.
And I work with a project with focus on privacy and anti-censorship. And this is something I really value because I guess lately we're losing our privacy of what we do on the internet, privacy of our money because they control everything. And I guess what the cryptocurrency want to give us back a bit of privacy. Not complete privacy because that could be scary for criminal activity, but just a bit of privacy.
That would be scary for criminal activity. They will not like
if you are totally anonymous, yes, but a bit of privacy at least. They don't know what I'm buying today.
But for example, with Bitcoin, you talk like everybody can see it's public.
Yeah, but there's not my name.
Okay, so you're a number.
I'm kind of a number. No, but I only know which one is my wallet, for example.
And you can see what other people purchase with this money?
No, because everybody's
okay, that's a privacy thing that you're talking about.
But probably, as I mentioned, Elon Musk, if you buy a Tesla, you know which one is their Bitcoin wallet. But they are also a public company, so they don't care about disclosing it.
Okay. So it was a really interesting talk. I understood a little bit about Bitcoin. As I said, I didn't understood before. I knew what was a Bitcoin. Like, I didn't know. I knew the idea of a Bitcoin, but now I don't know Italian, but maybe I will read your book because now I got a little bit interested in this.
Okay, if you want, I can suggest you a couple of books.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a couple, but I would like to know one that it just gave me a little bit of information about this. But thank you, Lorenzo, for accepting our invitation, and also the people who is watching us on live on Instagram and Facebook. And next week we're going to talk with Anna, that is going to talk about the how your work can value social and how you can give value to people in the company. So thank you very much, Lorenzo.
Thank you to you and to Avila Spaces.
Thank you.